Hey, my lovelies, a pleasant afternoon to you. So beautiful people, I tend to buy the Star, the Observer, the Gleaner, all of them newspaper there because it's interesting, some of the things. Some things are very important. And we live in a country and a culture where people don't like to read. So sometimes I say, let me see if I can bring it to them since they refuse to read. Some of them, a lot of us. And I hate that saying when they say if you want to hide something from the black man, and man is indicative of man and woman. Just put it in a book. And people, if you know how reading is therapeutic and how great it is, ladies, it's like when you're going shopping in the most expensive, luxurious, flamboyant, beautiful place. It's like that. It is very, very good. And it makes you become knowledgeable and wise and understanding. And you realize a lot of things you don't know. And some of the things that you know, actually you debunk them because you're actually incorrect. So it's imperative. So I'm looking at the Tell Me Pastor. I looked at one earlier about a man talking about his penis is too big. I had to vlog on same. This one says, I want to get married, but my boyfriend is not ready. So I said, let me read it. And as I saw the first sentence, just the first few words, I am 19 years old, I said, poor thing. Heart is in the right place, but she doesn't understand about life and maturity and taking on certain challenges. Bliss, but challenges as well. So it says, Dear Pastor, I'm 19 years old and I will be leaving university next year. It is always my intention to get married soon after leaving university. I wonder why. I have been dating a man and I told him that I would like to get married. He knows that I've gone out on different dates with different guys. He's not bothered about that, so he's suggesting that I should spend more time dating because he's not ready to settle down. He is 26 years old and he cannot give me a reason for not wanting to marry me. I really love this man. He is a gentleman. He comes from a good family. He does not gamble or smoke and he does not drink, although he will have a beer occasionally. He doesn't drink. He's not a womanizer either, so he's my choice as a life partner. My mother got married when she was 18. I suspected it was something of the sort, And my father and mother love each other. I'm not rushing this guy, but he cannot give me any reason for not wanting to marry me. How can I convince him that I am ready to walk down the aisle with him? And I looked at what the pastor said, and what the pastor said is what I was thinking. One, you do have mature 19-year-olds, but those are in the minority. Majority of 19-year-olds are not ready. And I think what has happened is that she got caught up in the blissful moment of her mother getting married at 18. So she would want to basically follow that trend. Maybe the mother shared the positive experiences, because you do have people who get married young. And for the most part, they have a great marriage and the marriage lives on till death do they part. Yes, you do have that. It works out. Somehow they find their soulmate. They find the right person. It works out. It seems as if maybe that's the case with her mother. So she figured the same sort of spirit and trend and, same sort of thing would follow her. And she would want to follow in her mother's footstep. And so I said, I bet you somebody in her family got married young, like her mother or the father. And this is why she's feeling this particular way. She wants to keep that trend going, that generational issue. I guess blessing for some, curse for some. Marriage is honorable though. Marrying the right person and at the right time. Are you aware that you can even marry the right person at the wrong time? It's like you're cooking rice, and if it is half cooked, it is half cooked. And that is not a nice tasting rice. When you wait until it is fully cooked, that same rice that tastes terrible when it is half cooked, tastes wonderful when it is fully cooked. And she doesn't understand that at that age, oftentimes, not for everyone, remember you always have exceptions, but the general rule is that she's still young. She's just beginning to understand adulthood. Because they say you become an adult when you're 18. Some people, when they're 18, it's like them still a picnic. They still operate like that because the transitioning takes time. The maturing is taking little by little, bit by bit. It doesn't come overnight. And that is why in some cases they will say when you're 21 before you can start to drink, because they realize when you're 18, you're still young, you're still giddy headed, you're probably active, more immature than somebody who is younger than you. You know, she just she wants to get married after university. She needs to understand, you know, if she waits, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. When that maturity sets in and when life hits her and she either continues, you know, I don't know, I'm assuming she just did her first degree. She may want to do her master's and work. Then when she sees life happening, she'll say, all right, hold on a second there. Yes, I want to get married, but let me see if I can get some things in place. One, it is imperative that even though, you know, God had designed men to care for women financially and whatnot, it is imperative when women develop a sense of independence, not independent of God. You depend on God while you become independent. So it's good when you get a great education, yes, and you go into your career. Maybe you start out small with a little job and you build yourself up, learn how to be a good steward of not just resources, but more importantly, be a good steward of relationships. You have to know how to manage challenges. You know, one of the things that I realize, which I've heard people saying, and I believe it because I've seen it happening, is that marriage doesn't cure the problems, you know. It actually amplifies it. It heightens it. It heightens it. You wonder, you think, you know, a lot of people quickly run into the marriage, so hopefully that they will get rid of it. It actually multiplies the problems. And that is why the divorce rate is so high, because people had a false impression that the marriage would cure the issue. She's dating, and the guy is not going to feel any way at this stage. He may not really like it, you know what I mean? But he's not going to pressure her so much. He's not going to pressure her so much because he knows she wants something a little bit more deeper in terms of the commitment. And he probably says, you know what, if I do this, if I behave a little bit controlling or jealous or whatever it is, it's like I will now have to really commit to her where marriage is concerned. He wants to be sure that, one, she's a person that he wants to marry to. Maybe she is, but maybe there are some things that he sees that he says, let me see if this will improve, because I'm not sure if for the long term I want to continue in this. Probably he's a good person, but maybe, you know, there are some things in somebody that you say, what, can I live with this? Or maybe not. Two, he just wants to be sure that, am I ready to settle down? Do I feel like I want to go to other women at this stage? I'm not encouraging polygamy or running around with other women, but I personally believe in allowing people to grow gracefully, but grow naturally, be organic, be themselves, be sure. I'm not saying that he needs to go and sleep with this one to be sure I sleep. No. I don't agree with that, because usually it is a recipe for disaster. And I think make you broke. A lot of men are broke today because they go to Jill, Jane, Mary Sue, and Tiffany. And let me tell you, that thing will bleed your pocket. It is a scriptural thing. It will bleed your pocket. It's like holes are in your pockets. So I'm not saying that, but he has to go through the human feeling. You know, men generally tend to struggle that way. They say, Lord, I see other girls that I may think that I may be interested in. He has to go through it. It doesn't make any sense. He's thinking about it, and it's marinating inside of him, ruminating inside of him. And, you know, when he goes and he marries you and then starts to cheat on you, you know. So we have to be logical. We have to think. We have to be real, keep it realistic, and so on. So he has to go through that to be sure of what he wants, you know. She may think she's ready. Again, to me, I personally believe, I could be wrong, and I stand corrected if I am, but I think she wants to follow that trend with her mother because it worked out for her mother. And, you know, women tend to get married. People, you know, women want to just have that full life, a good marriage, a good home, settle down. Two, the man may also want to get his finances together. He's what, 26? Probably his finances are not built up properly. He probably wants to solidify himself in a good career, have a nice place, and just be mentally ready for when the challenges of marriage come. It comes. I am with the guy. If he's not ready, he's just not ready. He's probably half cooked, quarter cooked. They probably fire no start light yet. So he wants to be sure. And usually men tend to want that. They tend to be a little bit later than women in wanting to settle down. That's how it is. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lines and you can follow me on Instagram.